Mia was born in 2000 in a small town that offered no prospects or promise of a happy future. From a young age, she became passionate about gymnastics, demonstrating exceptional abilities. Gymnastics became her passion, and her parents supported her, hoping that one day their daughter would become an Olympic champion. Training and competitions took up all her time, and Mia quickly earned respect in the sports community. Upon reaching adulthood, Mia decided to try something new. She was drawn to pole sports, which required the same physical skills as gymnastics. Mia began practicing pole dancing professionally. Her success in pole sports attracted the attention of directors and led Mia into the world of adult films. In this industry, she quickly found her place thanks to her physical fitness and attractive appearance. Her career rapidly took off, and soon she became one of the most recognizable actresses. In 2020, she was even nominated for a prestigious award in the category of Best New Starlet. In November 2023, the news of Mia's death shocked everyone who knew her. She had moved to Budapest to live with her girlfriend and claimed to prefer women, although she appeared in films with men. Behind the scenes of her career lay many secrets, including complex personal relationships and the struggle for recognition. Mia's case was closed as a suicide, but there are many unresolved mysteries in this story. I decided to conduct my own investigation. What you will learn next is my journalistic investigation, but I cannot assert anything with 100% certainty. So let's go back to August 2023. Around this time, Mia started working with a new agent named David. He was 43 years old and had a reputation as a successful and influential figure in the adult entertainment industry. David saw immense potential in Mia and immediately took her under his wing. He was captivated by her beauty, talent, and professionalism. Mia quickly gained David's trust, and their professional relationship evolved into something more. They began spending a lot of time together, not only on set and at business meetings, but also in their personal lives. Initially, their relationship seemed perfect. David supported Mia, helped her build her career, and cared for her well-being. However, it soon became clear that David had a dark side. He was controlling and jealous, often trying to manage every aspect of Mia's life. He demanded her complete submission, which caused tension and conflicts. Mia felt cornered, but continued to stay in the relationship, hoping that the situation would improve. David used his influence and connections to promote Mia in the industry. He negotiated lucrative contracts and roles in well-known studios. However, Mia realized that this support came at a cost. Her freedom and independence were at risk, and she increasingly felt like a puppet in David's hands. At one point, Mia decided that she needed to end the relationship. She understood that for her own well-being, she had to leave David and start a new life. This decision was not easy for her, as she knew David would not let her go without a fight. She devised an escape plan to avoid his wrath and revenge. Mia moved to Budapest, where her girlfriend, whom she had hidden from David, was waiting for her. She hoped that there he would not be able to find her. However, David was a man with extensive connections and resources. He quickly learned of her location and went to Hungary to bring her back. The evening of November 1st, 2023 was ordinary for Mia. She spent the day at home, going about her business, talking to friends via video calls, and making a few phone calls. Her girlfriend had gone away for the weekend, leaving Mia alone in their cozy apartment in downtown Budapest. In the evening, Mia stepped out onto the balcony to admire the city at dusk, then returned to the living room and sat down at her laptop. The next morning, her girlfriend returned home and found Mia hanged. The news of Mia's death quickly spread around the world. Her fans and colleagues were shocked by this event. Many could not believe that a young and successful woman who seemingly had everything could suddenly take her own life. Social media was filled with messages of grief and condolences. Despite the official police conclusion, many theories and speculations began circulating around Mia's death. One of the most popular theories was that Mia did not commit suicide, but was a victim of a crime. David was known for his aggressiveness. Many former colleagues and partners spoke of his controlling and cruel behavior. Some of them claimed that he had threatened and stalked them after their relationships ended. Mia could have been his next victim. David, having learned of her whereabouts in Budapest, could have flown there to regain control over her. The possibility that he killed her and staged the suicide does not seem so far-fetched. After the official case was closed, I decided to conduct my own investigation. I was convinced that there was more to Mia's death than a simple suicide. My first step was to find out exactly what had happened in the last days of her life. My first goal was to obtain information on David's flights. I made a journalistic inquiry to the airline to confirm his presence in Budapest. David flew to Budapest on October 18, 2023, 2 weeks before Mia's death. According to him, it was a business trip as many film studios are located in Budapest. He flew back to Los Angeles on November 2nd, 1 day after her death. These details match the suspicious circumstances, fueling my suspicions about his possible involvement. I started contacting people who worked with Mia and knew David. Some of them were her colleagues in the industry, others were David's former clients. The questions I asked were about their experiences working with David, his behavior, and his relationship with Mia. Alex, a former assistant, shared her extremely negative experience with David. He was controlling and demanding. After their professional relationship ended, he began stalking her, threatening her and her family. Alex is certain that David is capable of much more. Lisa, an actress who worked with David, confirmed his aggressive behavior. She added that he often manipulated actresses, using their fears and vulnerabilities. Lisa claimed that David was pathologically jealous and could use force to maintain control. These testimonies confirmed that David was not only controlling, but also potentially dangerous. Mia's last messages to her friends also made me doubt the official version. In them, she wrote about her fears and loneliness, but also mentioned her harrowing experience working with her latest agent. First quote, "I can't live like this anymore. The constant fear and pressure leave me no choice." Second quote, "He is always around. Even here in Budapest, I feel his presence." Third quote, "I tried to run away, but he found me. I'm afraid I'll never be free." These messages clearly indicated that Mia felt persecuted and threatened, which could point to David. His name was not mentioned, but the details matched his description. I began looking for witnesses who might have seen or heard something suspicious on the night of Mia's death. This proved to be a challenging task as her apartment was located in a quiet area, and most neighbors hadn't noticed anything unusual. However, one neighbor recalled seeing a strange man near Mia's apartment on the evening of November 1st. Here's what the neighbor had to say. "I saw a man standing at the entrance to the building, and he looked very nervous. This was around 10 p.m. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now, after everything that's happened, I think it could be important." The neighbor described the man whose features partially matched David's appearance. This strengthened the suspicion that he might have been in Mia's apartment on the night of her death. Finally, I decided to talk to Mia's girlfriend, who was the only close person in Budapest at the time of her death. I contacted her through social media. She declined a meeting but agreed to communicate via messages. She shared that Mia had been in a depressed state in recent weeks but had never mentioned suicidal thoughts. She also mentioned that Mia often received threats and strange calls, which might have been related to her past. Mia was very scared. She often said that someone was watching her. I tried to comfort her, but now I realized that her fears were real. Mia's girlfriend confirmed that Mia indeed felt stalked and frightened in the last few months. I learned that there were surveillance cameras installed in the building where Mia lived. I contacted the management company and requested access to the recordings from the night of November 1st. The surveillance footage was of very poor quality, but it showed an unknown man entering the building around 10 p.m. The camera captured him on the stairs. An hour later, he left the building. These recordings became key evidence, confirming that an unknown man could have been in Mia's apartment on the night of her death. His behavior was suspicious, and he clearly didn't want to be noticed. Having gathered all this evidence, I decided to hand it over to local authorities and international law enforcement agencies. I compiled a comprehensive report with all the collected data, testimonies, and recordings. The authorities began a new investigation, taking into account all the materials I provided. They promised to conduct a detailed analysis of the notes, surveillance footage, and conduct additional interviews with Mia's former colleagues and acquaintances. My personal investigation revealed that Mia's death was surrounded by many suspicious circumstances. The threats, stalking, and aggressive behavior of David, as well as his presence in Budapest on the night of her death, all pointed to the possibility of a violent death. My investigation is not yet complete, and I continue to search for new evidence and witnesses. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the results of the investigation.